Long time no see. This video here is my first test build of FF10. Alright? This video was meant to drop last month or early this one, but due to some part detail issues, I had to redo it, which made me redo the whole thing from scratch. So this is brand new now. So putting it together went pretty smooth, save for a minor glitch. Like on the exterior, there are two vertical lines with two little grooves missing. This minor detail won't affect the whole assembly, so I'll go ahead and build it today. Where to start? This piece, and this one here is the central board of the case, kind of the structural core of the whole chassis. We can see the graphics card extender is mounted here, and the case's I/O circuit board is attached to this spot as well. Once it's installed, you won't see it, so let me explain now. This circuit board is the same one as the FF10 circuit board. There's a USB hub chip on the front side and a sound card chip on the back as well. So you can accomplish with just one Type-E data cable to the motherboard. You can add two front USB Type-C ports and a sound card audio jack as well. Compared to regular cases, at least 3 cables are needed for this feat. This way, cable management becomes much simpler when building it. And I'd also hope that future companies, especially those making small form factor cases, will try out this approach. It'd be great. And this ITX motherboard, I think that 19-pin USB 3.0 port up there just isn't needed anymore. Adding a Type-C port there would be quite nice, don't you think? Alright, that's the board's intro. Time to start building. These two front and back panels are installed. Once done, check the side. The power and reboot buttons. There are just two tiny little squares. This button has a sort of edge design that's quite extreme and tight. This edge design means the button needs stops above and below to keep it properly fixed. So the button's fixation here is tied to this large side panel. In fact, need to place this button first, then install the big side panel, which also secures the button in place. Screws of this length with countersinks are gone. Use a plain one. So now this here is a core part of the case's main body. Next we can install the bottom panel down below. So this panel here is for the CPU and power supply fans intake, and it's secured via this sliding track as well. Shouldn't it just fly off? When handled normally, it shouldn't. But the little ball here doesn't have much hold. Need to be careful when taking it apart, especially when moving it. Don't let go of the edge and fling it, or it'll drop right down below. So here, I should highlight this board. From the front, you can't see much of what's inside at all, like our CPU cooler and power supply from the outside. They're mostly blocked and hard to see. You can watch my hand here, and if I turn the angle, there's one view where you can see it. A slight angle shape that lets you see some, thanks to the board's decent thickness and design. Then the front slot and back slot are staggered in layers, completely offset from each other to achieve this. Though you can't see what's inside, then it might feel like airflow is a bit low, but its thickness ensures enough airflow. So the trunk down below is the motherboard and power supply section of the FF10 case, right there. The 10 parts on the left make up its upper structure. This one here is the roof, and this has the mount for the graphics card bracket in place. That's also where the graphics card bracket gets fixed. These two without cutouts are the top 2 layers of the bracket. The remaining 6 that match with a slot on one side belong to the lower layers. So the opening spot is where the graphics card's I/O interface are located. Let me highlight my custom little part here. Shall I? This is a special screw made from stainless steel rod. One end has M4 threads. The other end is an H4 hex socket drive, to be precise. And inside, there's M4 screw threading. I can just twist in a regular M4 screw to secure it. So with this little gadget, I can build an interesting, infinitely stackable structure to pile up the tower of this case's upper part. Twist up 4 of these posts. Once this case is sold, when folks get it in the mail, all of these parts are already assembled. Every single one. Of course, if you want to pick it apart later for fun, you can do that too. This plate slips over this post. The slot has varying depth. The deeper side of the slot goes on the bottom there. Starting from the 7th layer, it's different from below. The first 6 are the same. The 7th layer holds a graphics card shield in place, and the top 2 layers work the same. The case is now assembled. This is how it'll look when you all receive it in the future. I'd say then you remove 2 specific boards here. Unscrew the bolts, take out the base plate, and then it's easy to install the power supply, motherboard, and plug in the cables. Yeah. Once I'm done, I'll give you a quick intro on the hardware specs this setup supports. Take a look at this staff. Well, most folks probably already guessed it. The CPU's air cooler height is still capped at just 67 millimeters. If you feel the cooling isn't enough, then there's a port left for external custom water cooling, so you can install my copper block accessory and hook up the tubing externally. As for the power supply, it now supports SFX and SFXL models. Both types are compatible, which is a bit more flexible. This entirely separate graphics card chamber has airflow that's fully isolated from the CPU's airflow below, no interference at all. Secondly, its size meets the SFF-ready specs NVIDIA released back last year, just to be clear. So we can fit the stock 5090 graphics card at the top end here, the RTX 5080 OEM version, and some other non-OEM RTX 5080 seconds, like the current ASUS Master pads and the upcoming pad models. And also any graphics cards that meet this SFF-ready specification will fit in there just fine. Of course, if it's bigger than the spec, it won't fit, but smaller sizes can be installed with ease. Like the 2080 factory version, it looks great installed too. Then there's the 4060, 5060 LPs, they fit in there quite nicely too. When you install a smaller graphics card, you can remove these 2 middle layers to make the whole thing more compact and shorter. Well, when I first started work on the FF10 design, I was actually thinking, this ad was meant to be a custom design build specifically for the RTX 5080 stock version. I wanted to make it with an exposed graphics card, embedded look, especially on the side, without the fan. Before I left the fan exposed, folks would ask, is this going to be dangerous? Yeah. Could it hurt cats or little kids? Well, in truth, it won't, but some folks might worry about that. So if this side were left exposed, it'll look perfect, but in practice, many details made me think this card just isn't suited for that. For instance, this angled power supply makes it tough to design a smooth sliding power mechanism that fits properly with it. Then its wiring would be a bit messy. And also this side is more suited for the outer face. If I use it as a case's exterior face, making the case's face line up with it, the graphics card's extension plug and the circuit board for the cable. If I want to enclose it in the case so it doesn't stick out, so this graphics card face would have to be set back from the case's outer surface, which would hurt the overall look. Besides that, there's the graphics card's large rounded edges all round, clashing with the typical boxy look of a square case. When trying to blend in, these rounded edges with boxy corners make for a tough, smooth transition to achieve. Another point is the graphics card's thickness itself. I also use a top and bottom chamber design. Up top, the graphics card is set in there, with both sides of the card's exterior fully exposed to view. You'll find that for the CPU and motherboard, the width is the motherboard itself, plus a 67mm cooler's maximum thickness. My graphics card is actually much slimmer and narrower than this case. The part below is this wide, but the graphics card is just this narrow, looks unbalanced and feels awkward. After finding all these small details that just didn't fit, this card looks nice enough, but its details don't suit well a design where it's built in and exposed. So I gave up on that approach entirely. After more time of back and forth refining, that's how the current FF10 design came to be. So do you all like the look and feel of this design and the effects it can produce, by the way? Or would you prefer that I rack my brains to make it something mounted right along the side of the case? Instead, any fact, or is the hollow bird in the cage look already pretty good? Do you think? So feel free to give it a quick rating. That's about it for the case design today. Now let me show you some other little items. When I introduced this to you, I said that these steel rod little parts, which I had custom made in bulk, I wouldn't waste a single one. This little thing, a desk pen holder that pairs well with FF10. Doesn't that sound kind of fun? Yeah. So it's achieved via this steel rod based stacking structure as well. Besides this little gadget here, I've sketched some other little trinkets too, though I haven't made samples yet. You can take a look at the big, small night lights, tiny pen pots, little vases, yeah, and desk phone stands, mini rulers, that sort of stuff. Now take a look at another one. This one's bigger, heavier. So the normal use is you standing here, and this is a monitor riser stand. There's such a category. You can search it on Taobao. The usual use for this thing is to raise the monitor base a bit and place it on this stand. You'll get an extra layer of storage space beneath your desk. That's its main use. My monitor stand raiser actually isn't called that. It's called a monitor arm base. So this thing here, I actually built a new version using stacked steel posts in this design. Basically, I made an older version once too, posted a video then, and that one got some backlash too. A lot of folks say, why spend a grand or two on this when I could just get a new desk? Of course you're right, you could just swap the desk. But this thing wasn't made for your needs though. Well, the main need this thing addresses is, say, your desk is a custom built-in unit that you can't take apart or modify at all. And then you just don't want to drill holes. And that desk is up against the wall there, so you can't do a clamp install, meaning you can't clamp the monitor arm onto the desk. So if you want to install such a monitor arm, in this case, you need this kit. This thing has 2 such mounting holes on top. Then you can drill holes in the table to install it. Then install parts by drilling through to mount this monitor arm on my shelf here. Special desktops, like expensive ones with odd edges, not flat panels, so they can't clamp those arms on them. And you don't want to drill holes in it directly. So you can use this base to connect the support arm. Those with this need would find it a must-have, since there's no other similar product or competitor out there on the market for this thing. So those without this need, well, you know, if you don't get what I mean, go ahead and flame me if you must, no worries. So this one's another stacked design desk accessory with a look similar to the FF10. With this design, I think we could make lots of cool stuff too. For instance, I sketched a new 240mm external water cooling machine that matches this look well. This water cooling machine has a built-in 240mm radiator and pump inside. Its rear has 2 ports left open, one for Type-C power. We plug in a PD power cable to supply it with electricity. Also, I added a C port here, which connects to the PC. By plugging into the C port, it can auto-detect my PC's normal power on and power off actions seamlessly, so that this water cooling machine syncs with the PC's power on and off. Besides this simple auto-detection, I'd also like a small software to let folks adjust pump and fan speeds via the computer's interface. Of course, these are features for later. If they're not there, I can tweak the water cooling machine's buttons on the outside. No big deal. Alright, that's about it for today's new stuff introduction. Regarding the FF10 release, it's the same as before. Our first batch will be sold via our WeChat group. Friends interested can add this WeChat to join the group and get it. For our first batch, I'll give each of you a pen holder styled after FF10 as a token of appreciation. Does this new release catch your eye and make you go, wow, that's cool? Thanks again for your love and support of my work. Remember to hit the triple combo and follow so more folks can see my designs and creation. I'm Factory Boss XIKII. Goodbye. Folks, see you next time.